let's just get into a game. Um, so if you've never played Super Auto Pets before, I'm going to tell you it's kind of weird. If you've never played a game like this, you're going to be like, what is going on here? It's an auto battler, which means you are setting up and organizing a team of units, but you're not controlling them individually. You're not telling them what to do or when to do it. They do it on their own. And the difference between this Super Auto Pets and something like Teamfight Tactics or Dota Auto Chess or Dota Underlords or whatever it's called now, um, is that requires a lot of esoteric knowledge about really weird universes that I don't care about personally. Like now, maybe if we had like a Star Wars or a Halo auto battler, that could be my thing. But I'm not into League. I'm not into Dota. But this is just cute little animals. You don't have to know anything. You just have to say like, oh hey, there's a pig. It tells you what the pig does. Now I've played quite a bit of this game. I've watched people play this game even more than I have played it myself. So I will try to explain what I'm doing. Um, but I'm not the best at this game. I've only won like 4 times, 5 times, 6 times, somewhere around there. Um, but so just the basics real quick. You buy animals. You can feed them items to make them stronger, to give them special abilities and whatnot. Each animal has its own unique ability. Um, Pigs, for example, sell for extra gold. That's kind of lame ability in my opinion. I think pigs are one of the worst animals in the game, but it is what it is. We're at the beginning of the game, so all we have access to right now are tier 1 animals. That's what this 1 on this die means above them. And there's, I believe, 6 tiers. Goes all the way up to all 6 sides of a die, obviously. And honestly, all of 3 of these animals kind of suck. I'll say real quick, crickets of these 3 are easily the best. When they die, that's what faint means. I guess it's just trying to sugarcoat things. They summon a 1/1 cricket. Now the first number is their attack. The second number is their health. So it would take 2 damage to kill this cricket. It deals 1 damage every time it attacks. So that it would do 1 damage after it dies. It would summon another cricket that has 1 attack and 1 health. So it'll die faster, but it helps you sustain attack just a little bit longer. Otters buff a random friend on your team, and a friend is just any animal in your squad. Right now, we have no one in our squad. Um, so buying an otter first would be a bad idea, unless it could buff itself, which honestly I don't know because I've never bought an otter first, and I'm not going to find out here. So if you know, let me know. But we won't be doing that today. So for example, I'm going to buy this cricket. Now every animal costs 3 coins. You see, we start with 10 coins up here. I'm going to buy this cricket. Now we're down to 7. I'm going to buy this otter. And then I don't want this pig, because pigs suck. And I don't want an apple, because apples only give +1/+1. Food also costs 3 gold, except for a pill, which we'll get to later. And I don't want to spend 3 gold for +1/+1 when I could get a whole nother animal. Rerolls are infinite, and they're 1 gold each. So since we conveniently have enough gold for 1 reroll and then 1 more animal, I'm going to roll. Hope we get something good. We really didn't, but it is, again, tier 1 animals, so like all I would really be hoping for here is like a fish or an ant or a mosquito. We got none of those things, but we did get another cricket, which I'm fine with. Ducks, if you want to know what they do, they sell, when you sell a duck, it gives the animals in the shop +1 health. It's garbage. You'll notice I say a lot of these early animals are garbage. Because like that, it only gives the animals currently in your shop. So you have to pray that you roll good animals, and then also it's only going to give them +1 health, and you have to buy this crappy duck and leave it in your team for that long. It's just not worth it most of the time, in my opinion. I don't really want another cricket, but eventually you can combine animals to level them up, so we might as well have another cricket. I'll leave the strongest one in the back. No, make sure you don't combine them. That would be bad this early on. And I think that's good. So let's go into our first fight. After the first setup phase, every game you get to pick a team name. You get 3 random adjectives and 3 random nouns. Honestly, this is like maybe the three worst or the worst combination I've ever seen. Usually there's something very funny. It can kind of get pretty nasty sometimes, but let's just be the talkative. We get three body parts. I guess we'll be the talkative. No, we don't want to be talkative. We'll be the vague eyes. And then let's rock and roll. Finding an opponent. We're going up against the Desperate Husbands. See, that's a good name. Why couldn't I get that? But they have a similar thing going. See, they got an otter and two crickets. But unfortunately, they're going to win. Now, I wasn't paying enough attention to see if it was just because of placement, or surely it had to be, because I don't think they, considering they had the same units, they couldn't have really squeezed out that much more stats than we had. So it was probably just a placement thing. Placement is not really my bag. I tend to early on put my best unit in the back, and then eventually I move them to the front. I do want honey. Honey is a big difference maker. It summons a 1/1 after they die, and it does not replace their other units. So this cricket will summon a 1/1 cricket and a 1/1 which means we need to leave it at least two spaces for that bee. But the bee can often turn a loss into a draw or a draw into a win, especially early on. So I'm a big honey truther. Some people will tell you, don't waste your time. Those people don't know what they're talking about. Now, I would love a fish. I would love a fish. Um, and quite frankly, I would like an ant. But let's freeze the ant. You can freeze anything in the shop. There's not a limit on how many times you can freeze it, how many things you can have frozen at one time. You can freeze the whole damn shop if you want to. Obviously, that doesn't make any sense, but you could do it. So I'm going to freeze this ant because I do want an ant, but I maybe we'll get something even better. So I'm going to roll one time since we have enough money to do that. And we got nothing. Beavers are they're not good, but they're not as bad as like pigs and ducks, in my opinion. When they have decent stats, which pigs and ducks don't have. They have 2 health, which means they're not going to immediately get walloped by anyone ever. And when you sell them, they give +1 health to 2 random friends. So, you're getting +2 health out of it, but an ant is still better, because every time an ant dies, it gives a random friend +2 attack and +1 health. Usually I would like to save that in the early game for my best unit, which right now is this cricket with the honey on it. So if I had the ant in the front, for example, when he died, he could hit any of these 4 people because it's random. But if I save him right here, all of these people are going to be dead. All of these animals, these friends, whatever you want to call them. So the only person he can hit is the cricket, which is who I want him to hit. So we're going to put him right there. And hopefully this one goes a little better than the last one. We only lost by 1 last time. It's very early, so they're running a 4-squad Marty. But they got a big old ant up front. We're going to get through him, but it took a lot out of us. Now, their horses are weak, and the bee and the cricket saved us. But see, if we hadn't had a cricket who was already summoning an extra animal, we would have had the bee, which would have turned a draw into a win. So I'm a big bee believer. Okay, now we're getting into some tier 2s. Swans, I'm a big swan guy. Swans give you extra money, which gives you extra rolls, which gives you more stuff. So I almost always, especially early on, want to fit a swan in if I can. Crabs are interesting. So you can see when you buy them, they take the health from your most healthy friend. So right now, that's not really helpful for us. Our most healthy friend is our fish and our cricket. They have 3 health each. So if we summon a crab, he would get 3 health. But you can see he already has 3 health, so that's not really doing anything. If we had a friend who was like 15 health, that would be huge, because then this crab would instantly jump to 15 health. But once he's in your squad, his health does not continue to update. He's stuck at that health. You can feed him and upgrade it like you normally would, but it doesn't get the instant jumps to always match the highest level, highest health unit in your team. So what I would love here is a pill, so I could show you what that does, and because I want to pill this ant. But since we've already gotten the usefulness out of the otter, because his special ability triggers when you buy him, and we used him to help this cricket early on. He sucks. I'm sorry to say. He's very cute. I love his kepi hat, but he sucks. So we're going to sell him for 1 gold. All animals, level 1 animals, which all of mine are right now, sell for 1 gold. Level 2 animals, sell for 2 gold. Level 3 animals, sell for 3 gold. Pretty easy to keep track of. So let's sell this otter. Let's buy a Swan. I don't know where I want him to go yet, but let's go ahead and do that. I would love to combine this cricket, so let's see what else we can roll. There's another crab. Now, like I said earlier, you can combine units to create higher level units. It takes 3 level 1 units to make a level 2 unit, and then I think 3 more level 1 units on top of that, or 2 level 2 units to make a level 3 unit, and you can't go higher than level 3. Most animals, their abilities get better as they level up. So like a peacock, right now level 1 would gain +2 attack every time it's hurt. Level 2, I believe it gains +4 attack every time it's hurt, and then level 3 is probably +6, just going off patterns, but I don't actually know off the top of my head. Crabs, you can see it says does not upgrade when leveling. Their ability stays the same. So the only benefit to stacking crabs is every time you stack any animal, you get +1/+1. It's like giving them an apple. And then also for crabs, since they take the health from the most healthy friend, and like I said earlier, they don't continue to update after they're placed in your squad, then placing a new crab on top of an old crab will update its health. So if you put a crab down, he jumps to 10 health because you have a 10 health friend in your team. And then that 10 health friend goes up to like 20 health, but your crab is still stuck at 10 health. You could put another crab on top of that crab, and then he would jump up to 20 health too. So it can be pretty useful. We did get a pill here, which I just noticed. I'm really glad I didn't reroll. These only cost 1. These are the only food item that don't cost 3 gold. And these kill your friend, which is sad. But it permanently executes their ability, assuming they have a feint ability. So, like, if I pilled this cricket, it would permanently summon a 1/1 cricket. There's no reason to do that because that would just make our team worse. But the ant, like I said earlier, when it dies, it gives a random friend +2 attack and +1 health. Now, in a battle, every buff that happens in battle is temporary. It goes away when the battle's over. But every buff that happens in the shop screen is permanent. So if you could permanently kill this ant, it would permanently give +2 attack and +1 health to a random friend, which is huge, especially early on. So we're going to say goodbye. Now, you don't get the money you would get for selling him, but it's only 1 gold. This only costs 1 gold. Usually early on, especially with ants and flamingos, which I'll explain if we see a flamingo later, I like to pill them. That is exactly who I wanted you to hit. Kind of. I wouldn't have minded if you hit this one, but yeah. So he hit our best unit, which made him even stronger. I would love to... We have 6 gold, so I don't want to reroll because I want to be able to buy 2 things. So I think right now we're still not going to combine our cricket. And the question is, do we want... A shrimp is similar to a duck, only instead of helping shop animals, it helps people already on your team, which I think is better. But I think I'm going to go with the peacock, even though I don't think the peacock is great. But in the first 5 rounds, we're about to enter round 3, or we're in the beginning of round 3. It can make a little bit of a difference. They have 5 health. They get more attack as they take damage, obviously. So if you can give them health to sustain themselves, they can do a lot. But they kind of fade over time, like once you get into the mid game. But I don't mind a peacock early on. Now the question is, do I want a meat bone? I always just call it meat. If you give meat to an animal, it makes every attack +5. So instead of dealing 3 damage, this swan would deal 8 damage. Instead of dealing 1 damage, this peacock would deal 6 damage, which is huge. Like, a meat on a peacock is pretty useful. But I don't see this peacock sticking around very long. So I have to ask myself, is it worth it to spend 3 gold to invest in the animal that I'm just going to sell in a couple of rounds, probably? And I think the answer is no. I'm going to give the swan the meat for now, even though eventually I will probably take that away from the swan. But the swan is probably going to stick around. So let's see how this goes. We're going up against the Danish soup. That's a pretty strong fish, but our peacock's doing work. He took out 2 units, and I think we're going to win because of our bee slash cricket again. It's hard to proclaim the glory of the bee when the cricket's doing it on his own, but no other animal does that. So if we had anything other than okay, now we're cooking with peanut oil here. So we're going to combine this cricket. We're going to buy this cricket. Now I've got a level 2 cricket. So instead of summoning a 1/1 cricket, he's going to summon a 2/2 cricket plus his bee. We're going to buy another fish so we can work our way towards a level 2 fish. We're going to freeze a snail because snails buff everyone on your team if you lost the last battle. We did not lose the last battle, so he's useless to us right now. But maybe he'll be useful for us next round. Obviously, you don't want to lose. But early on, we're only losing 2 health per round right now if we lose. It's not the worst thing in the world. So that could be a little consolation prize if we do lose. We have 5 gold. We can't buy 2 things no matter what, so we might as well roll and see what we can get. We could get another swan. We could get another peacock. I definitely want another swan. I don't want another peacock. Let's roll one more time. And I will just do this. I can't remember. Oh, I combined my crickets and my fish, so that's why there was an open spot. I was like, what did I get rid of? I guess I'd rather have you up front because you're a little bit better with your meat. And then let's see how this goes. And if I haven't said this, I can't remember. The goal here is to get to 10 wins, and I think we have 2 or 3. Oh, that's a big spider. I'm kind of scared. Yeah, we're... Oh, the blowfish. I mean, we wouldn't have won anyway. But that's a tough L. But now we can buy that snail. So we're at 2 wins. We have 7 lives left. From now on, I'm assuming, we will lose 3 lives every time we lose a battle, which means we only really have 3 lives left. So let's combine you, buy the snail, buff everyone, sell you. Now a hedgehog is interesting, but I mean, this team honestly is not very good. I definitely want... So garlic armor takes 2 damage away from every attack that animal receives. So if they get hit for 3, they actually only lose 1 health, which is huge early on. Later in the game, when animals are doing like 40 attack, it doesn't really do a whole lot. But early on, it can be a huge difference. Now the question is, do I want to take away the honey from my cricket? And I think I do. Since it has like kind of a built-in bee already, I think it's worth it to maybe get... But I also... Again, I face this question of, do I want to invest in this peacock? We're kind of already invested. So I think I'm going to do you, because like your whole raison d'etre is survivability. Oh, a giraffe. Interesting. I think I'll go with a giraffe. And honestly, I guess we're going with the peacock. I wish I had bought that other peacock now. And I wish... Well, if I'd given you meat, it wouldn't have mattered, because I've overridden both of you already. But... So now we're going to give you a giraffe, and giraffes buff the person in front permanently before the start of every battle. So as soon as I click enter, and you'll see him buff him +1/+1. And then I think when you level him up, it goes +2/+2 to the 2 friends in front, so I could move him back here and buff both of these guys. In level 3, I could buff all 3 of these guys, and I think it's +3/+3, but I'm not 100% sure on those numbers. So we'll get our peacock up to 4/6 with garlic armor, or 4/7, excuse me, I can't add. And then hopefully he can do some good work for us early on. Now this sheep is going to be annoying, but they messed up by having their sheep in the front spot. The sheep normally spawn 2 rams, but because their sheep was in the front, there wasn't room for both rams, so they only summoned 1. So that was pretty good for us, and we're going to pretty easily win this here. But there you go. So placement matters. Like I said earlier with my cricket is summoning 2 animals right now. It's summoning the cricket and the bee. So if I put this up here, when it died, there's only room for 1 other animal, so it wouldn't summon the bee, I think, because the bee has less stats. I'm assuming it summons the one with better stats. All right, so this is a good start. We can help our giraffe get closer to leveling up. I would level 2 fish. I mean, I would level 2 anything. Now, do we want garlic armor or meat the giraffe? I honestly wouldn't mind meat on the giraffe here, because that's not really doing anything. Like, your only reason to exist right now is to help our peacock. So if you can also get you to do some damage, that's pretty good. And you have 6 health. It's not like that's nothing. A camel, and an ox. I'm a big ox man. The ox is maybe my favorite animal, especially early on. Is it early enough to pivot to an ox. We've invested a lot in this peacock. I would sell if I were to buy the ox, I would have to sell either the peacock or the fish. I mean, the cricket also is gonna fall off hard, but it's level 2, so I don't really want to get rid of it yet. The peacock or the fish? The fish does less than the peacock. The fish just has like all he is his stats. But if we got one more fish, he would give +1/+1 to everyone. But also +1/+1 isn't really that much. I'm sorry, fish, you have to go. You're gonna go here. I wish I had one more so I could give you an apple or something. I do like a camel. Camels buff, so they're like the peacocks in that their ability triggers when they take damage. But instead of increasing their buffing themselves, they buff the person behind them. So it would actually be huge. I've talked myself into it. It would be really nice for our ox to build up a camel, which buffs the ox, and then the ox's ability also, which I realize I haven't explained yet. When the friend ahead of him dies, he gains +2 attack, which is nice, and he gains melon armor, which we have not seen yet because it's a late game tech that basically makes garlic armor quasi obsolete. Melon armor absorbs 20 damage. So if you take up to 20 damage, it's like you didn't get hit at all. But after that, it goes away. So garlic armor works forever, but it just makes every attack -2. Melon armor makes the first attack -20, which can make a big difference late in the game when you're going up against people who are doing 40 or 50 damage every attack. We don't really have any scaling right now. Like, there's animals who will help your whole team level up or help one animal level up very quickly. We don't have any of that going. Oh, actually, our giraffe. Our giraffe is very slowly helping the person in front of him. So I'm worried about our long-term viability, but I do love an ox. So let's see. Badgers are fun. Dodos, trash, to be honest with you. I don't want any of that. We can get a level 3 camel out the gate next turn. Now, there was our other fish, but I'd much rather have the level 3 camel with the level 1 ox. We're going to sell the peacock. You've been good to us, but it's time to move on to the new hotness. And this is a 4-squad Marty this late in the game. That's very strange, although they do have a very strong mosquito, a level 3 mosquito, 11/11. I'm scared. Oh, yes. Okay, see, that time, I mean, I think our cricket, yeah, because it was a 2-2 versus a 1-1. I thought that was an example of having the doubled up cricket and honey making a difference, but once again, not really. All right, so sorry, Peacock, you've been kind to us, but you're gone, and this is beautiful because we also have enough for a pair, which we're going to give... I mean, I want to buff both of you, but you're getting buffed by the giraffe, and you need to live to make our whole strategy work. Our win condition is our camel living and buffing our ox. So, now that our camel is level 2, instead of giving +1/+2, he gives +2/+4. So if we can get him to live through 2 hits, he's going to take our 2/5 ox all the way up to 6/13, something like that, plus the 1/1 he's getting from this. So he'd actually be like 7/14, which is huge. And then the ox does what he does. He'd get +2 from the camel dying, so he'd be 9/14, and he has melon armor. These two dudes theoretically could chug their way through half the team by themselves, depending on the construction of who we're going up against. We still have 3 lives left. But our teams aren't really popping yet. Like, they have potential, but I'm not saying this is going all the way. Like, right now, I think this is like a 6-win team, 7-win team on a good day. They have a deer, which is kind of scary. But that's also good because it doesn't do a whole lot of damage to our camel. So we did get 2 buffs out of him. I think they did damage to my ox early on, right? That they have a mosquito. I wasn't really paying attention. A hippo is so much fun. I think it's too late to get a hippo going, but if you can get a hippo going, one of the most fun animals in the game, because they kind of sustain themselves. Every time they kill someone, they buff themselves. So if you can get a high-level hippo who knocks out the first enemy, they can just keep going and keep going and keep going. And I've seen one hippo take out an entire team. It's so much fun. A level 2 swan, yes please. So now instead of getting +1 gold every turn, we're going to get +2. Now it's time, unfortunately, to say goodbye to our level 2 cricket. You've been very good for us. You have good stats. I hate to do it, but this croc, I'm a big croc guy. Now then, a cupcake is a big buff, +3/+3, but it's temporary. This is the only temporary food. Um, so it's like, do I care more about winning now or scaling for the future? Honestly, I think I care more about winning now because I don't believe in this team very much to go all the way. So I'm like, we got to squeeze out wins while we can. So I think I'm going to buff you. And then we're going to roll once. Pray we get garlic. And we did, yes, for our camel. So now he's all beefed up, even though he's really a 6'9". We just temporarily made him a 9'12". A deer is fun. Like you saw in the last game, they summon a bus that does splash damage, so it hits 2 units at once. But I don't think it really works with this squad. I mean, like maybe I could sell the giraffe. The giraffe is probably gonna have to go pretty soon. He's too slow for us, and he hasn't leveled up. If we could get, I would love a level 2 giraffe. That's actually like my #1 wish from Santa right now, or a level 2 ox. But a level 2 giraffe, then we could buff the ox and the camel at the same damn time. Wouldn't that be something? Well, again with the force one, what's going on? Something is going very wrong with these people. We're getting some lucky draws. You're destroyed. We didn't even get to our 3rd animal. So we're at 6 wins. That's pretty much my mark for a good game. 6, 7, sometimes 5. I mean, it all depends on the luck of the rolls. If I have a good team, obviously I would like to win more. But sometimes you have a bad team, and you're like, it's a miracle we made it to 5 wins. A worm is fun. It's too late for a worm, but they buff themselves when they eat food. So it's kind of like a double buff because they get the buff from the food. I'm not interested in any of this. Other than like maybe splash for you, but like usually you want splash damage up front. Thankfully we got a bunch of money from our swan. Yes, please. Sharks can be fun. But again, I'd rather have the croc. He's doing 8 damage to the last enemy. You saw him just obliterate that person in the last game. Now, another ox, yes. Now, a monkey is... and another camel, wow. Monkey is another animal I was talking about earlier, how they buff other animals on your team. The monkey gives your animal at the furthest right on your team, so our camel, +3/+3 every single turn, and it's permanent. Monkeys are huge when you're trying to get one animal to really get going, and I kind of think that's what we're doing, but then I'm like, do I sell the giraffe? The monkey is worse than the giraffe stats-wise. He has lower attack and lower health, and he doesn't have the meat. And the giraffe, if we leveled him up, could give +2/+2 to both of them. So I kind of have like talked myself into saying, no, I don't want, I'm going to pray to RNGesus and say, give me a giraffe. And then do I sell the croc to like turbocharge the camel? And again, I feel like the answer is no. But also, we're going to start... I mean, right now, we're over halfway there. Y'all are probably thinking, what's going on? He keeps talking about 40 damage units. You're going to see them. Unless we're just on the weirdest run ever, which we kind of are. We've run the 2 teams with 4 units in them, like, after 5 rounds, which is just very, very strange to me. But this team would get wiped out by a good team in the late game. So I'm like, we kind of need to bootstrap our camel. But I think I'm just going to... well, let's roll first. Maybe we'll get a pair. Rhinos are very similar to hippos. I prefer hippos. Because hippos also regenerate health. Whereas rhinos just do extra damage. We did not get a pair. We could give 2 animals +1/+1, or I could give the camel +1/+1. And that, even though I do want to target the camel, and there's a chance this salad doesn't hit the camel, I would much rather get 2 animals to improve themselves right now. And the camel was one of them, so that's beautiful. Please, we gotta pray, chat. Let's pray, all 0 of you, that we get... oh no, that's really bad. Oh no, we got owned, brother. Yeah, so that you just saw what happened. The scorpion has peanuts. It's unique to scorpions. They instantly kill anything, no matter what their stats are, unless they have melon armor or coconut armor, but that's very, very, very rare. It only applies to gorillas. I don't want to get into that right now. So yeah, so because we only have garlic armor and not melon armor, the scorpion just yeeted our giraffe, or not our giraffe, our camel, which destroys our whole win condition, which is unfortunate. But our croc was still doing good work there. He took out that penguin. But then their fish and their rabbit were also... that's the kind of squad I'm saying. There are some beefed up squads, and we just can't compete right now. I'm kind of like, do I give you a cupcake? No. No. Dolphins are similar to crocs. They're snipers. Instead, this one does 8 damage to the last enemy. This one does 5 damage to the enemy with the lowest health. Now that we're in the 10th round, I think most animals are going to have 5+ health. So I'd rather have the croc because it does more damage. And a lot of times people will put like an enabler in their very back spot, like a fly or something that's really annoying. So if we could snipe a fly, that would be huge. Although it's too early because I believe flies are tier 6. We're going to keep rolling. I'm looking for pears, salads, pizzas, sushi. I don't know. Okay, chocolate is also really good. Yes. So we can get a level 3 camel. So chocolate level gives you +1 experience. So it's basically like adding 1 animal to any animal. So we have a camel and a chocolate. We can get a level 3 camel. And a snake. Yes. Actually, yes. So snakes are also snipers, but they attack when the friend ahead of them attacks. So that works very well with our camel. If we can keep our camel alive for 4 or 5 attacks, our snake will just snipe them, and it's beautiful to see if you can get it to work. But I am worried. We're down to 2 lives left. Would love a pair. The question, I guess I saw the croc move everyone back 1, put the snake in the 2 position. I feel bad about our ox, and I want another giraffe. We've gotten bad luck. We're not rolling giraffes. That bison scares me. And their turkey lived by 1. Oh, this is bad. Well, yeah, this is real bad. Turkeys are so annoying. Oh my god. It's so unlucky. Their turkey lived by 1, bro. By 1. And so the turkey is like basically a super horse, which I also haven't explained horses. Both turkeys and horses buff units who are summoned in battle. So their sheep was summoning rams. They got turbocharged by the turkey and the horse. But the turkey was doing the heavy lifting there. And if we had done 1 more damage, we would have cakewalked that battle. I'm sad. But it is what it is. So let's try this. We're hitting... I told you we'd hit a wall. We haven't won in like 3 or 4 rounds. But we'll do what we can. I could buy a Scorp, which could be interesting. It could actually serve as like quasi-melon armor on his own, since we don't actually have... There's a gorilla. +2/+2 to 2 pets. I think... As sad as it makes me, you say goodbye to the giraffe. You put you out here. I would love pizza, bro, but I would love sushi even more. Because I believe sushi is +2/+2 to 3 units. Alright, so... Now you're starting to see how the snake works. Well, we only got 2 attacks out of him. That's disappointing. But, you know, we're still toasted. So, alright. That's GG. We only got 6 wins. I told you 6 wins was good.